Hello, and welcome to the very first episode of Fresh Voters. On here, it's going to be exciting, interactive, it's going to be fun. On this episode, we'll be discussing key issues affecting young voters. And so, basically, what are the issues or factors that will influence your vote as a young voter or a fresh voter? And so, in studio with me, I have Mawena. He is the presenter for News Central.
Hello, everybody.
We also have the very beautiful Enyo Nam. Hi, Enyo.
Hello.
And of course, our student journalist. She's in the person of Ademaya.
Hi, everyone.
Great. So as I said, we are discussing issues that will affect your vote as a first-time voter. My first question to you would be, what or how do you feel as a young person living in Ghana currently? Enyo.
Well, Ghana. I feel there's no hope. Well, there's a little hope, but every day I wake up and I feel the hope reduces bit by bit.
Bit by bit.
Yes. And I'll explain.
Not fully, but bit by bit.
Every day it's reducing by an inch.
Why though? Why?
Well, we wake up and we hear so many things every day. I mean, if it is not fuel prices that have been increased, it is rents that is going up, prepaid, data, even data, internet data is going up.
But we are the third cheapest.
That's what NCA says. It says we're better off than other countries, but that's not true.
Really, I see. Marina, what about you? Two words, just two.
So a sigh, because that was what Enyonam gave pretty much. A big sigh, and then resignation as to when things can get better. I mean, that's the biggest thing. Enyo's pretty much stated it, but does it get better is a big question that we keep asking ourselves, and it doesn't look like it wants to get better. And so that's the biggest challenge. Waking up every day asking yourself the same questions, whether or not things get better, life gets easier. Those are the questions that looks like there's no response to, and so we just keep staring in the abyss like that.
Ademaya, you're a student journalist. You're a student still, right?
Yes.
What are your two words?
I'm desperate because
desperate.
it's like you're doing everything you can to make your life better, but the system is not helping it.
Wow.
And for me, Enyonam is saying a little bit of hope. For me, there's no hope.
Zero.
Hopelessness.
Yes, a complete hopelessness. Because Shali,
Me, I should say disappointed.
There's a lot of
And-
disappointment
yeah,
still.
yeah,
There's
yeah.
a lot of disappointment.
Right.
in the
A
air.
lot. Now you have the chance to vote. Come December 7, you're going to the polls once again. You have the chance to vote whether to keep this government in power or choose another. Now there are about 3 others who are vying for this position. What factors are going to influence your vote towards the election? Let's start with you, Mamina.
The biggest of them all is jobs.
Jobs?
I mean,
Right.
nothing else beats the opportunity for young people to be able to at least wake up and know that they have something going for them, and they don't have to look into the air and ask themselves, what next for them? Jobs, and then the general cost of living. Because even for people who work, it's not like you're working and so life is easy.
Yeah.
You wake up and the prices of goods have
your salary before your salary enters your account is done.
it's done. And you're having to like conjure some magic, some voodoo somewhere,
Exactly.
Yes.
working mad to try and cross the
We
mountain.
are
all of that.
magicians. We are really magicians now.
Yeah,
Eh?
I mean,
Yeah.
everybody who is here like doing some one form of magic or the other, and so jobs and then the general cost of living will be like the biggest items for me if you're to look out for who to vote for.
And that's interesting coming from you because for someone who actually has a job, you can imagine what the others who don't have jobs are feeling like ahead of the election. Ademaya, what do you think? What are going to be your factors ahead of the election?
Personally, if I had the chance, I wouldn't vote because I don't think it's really going to change anything. But if I am to vote, it would be if they have realistic policies. They are not just coming to tell us what we want to hear so that they get the power, and then when they get the power, they do whatever they want. You're coming to tell me that like something that doesn't make sense, something that you cannot do when you come just because you want me to hear it and give you power. I want to hear realistic things. Like Marina said, cost of living is terrible. the price of CFA and dollar and whatever. My mom works trying to get goods from Togo to come. The prices, people don't want to buy because it's so high. But then you can't do anything about it because it's already high there. If you bring it here, you can't sell it and make a loss. You get it? So cost of living.
Very much understandable.
Yeah.
Very much
It's
understandable.
terrible.
And you love your mom.
I love my mom.
Big inspiration, innit?
Big inspiration, right? Anyo, what do you think?
I agree with both of them. I think they've said everything
That's
any
on your
young
heart.
person would say, honestly, because I feel like all the candidates that are available or that have brought themselves out to us as Ghanaians, and none of them
Inspires.
fits. None of them. Because
None?
we hear the same thing. Honestly, none of them.
I see.
Because we hear the same thing. I think when the whole the Marx billboards were up,
people were
we had
interested.
hope that
Yeah.
there was somebody new that was coming. Like Peter Obi when he stood in the
Nigeria.
Nigerian election.
Yeah.
He, for a first time president or person,
Standing for
he
that
garnered
position.
a lot of votes.
Yeah.
And then we saw the person that was behind the mask and everybody lost hope again.
So mean.
That's the meanest thing.
Everybody lost
But
hope
it's
again.
true.
Because
It's
we're like,
true.
People still do have
It's
hope
true.
in
I-
you.
people
We're getting
that
the
do not
sea-
know
we're
the
getting the
man.
sea to Kumasi.
No, what you're saying, is it possible?
Dredging.
How?
Dredge the sea. and
Ghana,
go to Kumasi.
dredge.
Why-
National Cathedral safe.
Yeah, let's
Why are you?
relax.
Why are you
rest
losing
my
hope?
case.
He's bringing you a new.
Is he? I mean, for
New
one,
belief, new
for one, I think he has very, very good ideas, but they are not practical. He's all for the young people and all of that, but they are not practical.
Interesting.
Yes.
Interesting. Now, if listening to all of you,
Yeah.
there's some few things that run through cost of living.
I think that's the biggest thing
Employment.
we need
Yes,
right now.
yes.
Almost
And
everything
employment.
falls under
And
cost,
the
of,
cost of
living,
living.
actually. And so we're going to focus on some few issues. We are going to focus on unemployment, focus on education in Ghana, especially you for the student, and we focus on rent, cost of rent, and data as well. So
Data.
firstly,
Which one do we start with?
let's start with unemployment, and I'll give you some statistics. Okay, so the current unemployment rate, according to the Ghana Statistical Service, labor statistics, is 14.7%. The number of unemployed persons as of the last quarter of 2023 was 2.6 million. And note, the 2024 report is not yet in.
Yeah.
And the third quarter of 2023, 1.9 million youth aged 15 to 35 years in Ghana were not in education, employment, or training, according to the 2023 annual household
Just
income
existing.
and expenditure survey.
But they eat every day.
Look at the
It's
numbers.
questionable. We are magicians.
I told you we are magicians in this
Yeah.
country. But look at the numbers. It's appalling. Over 2 million. 2
People
million youth.
don't have
This is
jobs.
not just Ghanaians. 2 million youth between 18 and 35
Wow.
do not have jobs, are not employed. I mean, are not in even in education, and they're living. They have to survive. They have to survive.
Look, sometimes I think because there's some level of privilege, sometimes we're not really able to understand the extent of what the challenge of unemployment is. I literally sleep on the streets of Twitter. Look, somebody can come and say, drop this comment for 10 CDs, and they'll get like 1K comments. 10 CDs.
Yes, yes,
10
I've seen that.
CDs. Or 50 CDs, and you're seeing people rush.
Drop your number
Dropping their numbers for this, for that. That paints the picture of how bad things are. Sometimes when we hear the numbers, because you don't directly know, or maybe we're a bit still young, and because of a certain level of privilege, we don't really see. Go to Twitter, and if you want to grow your followers, it's the easiest thing you can do. Say follow and drop for 10 CDs, 20 CDs. Your numbers
Even
will
airtime,
skyrocket,
even
or
airtime.
even given
Yes,
airtime.
yes.
I mean, for me, sometimes I use some of these things to try and gauge the sense of how bad things are. People will say, "Oh, make a drop for 10 CDs, make a buy some cho for breakfast," and you're wondering like. And if you say, "Oh, drop your number for something small,"
Everyone.
like you could leave here and try it if you have like 100 CDs. Just try it. And
It's very true. I see that a
see it.
lot, not just on Twitter, on Instagram, most of the social media handles.
The
You see
comment
that
sections.
these celebrities, in fact, people even use that to gain
yeah, to
following.
grow numbers and all of
Yes, those who are not, I mean, the real celebrities, but are faking to be
The
faking those
giveaways
accounts.
and-
Then they say they are doing giveaways, and you see everybody jumping on that because they've seen some Regina Daniels is about to dash
Something small.
yeah, something small for the boys.
Yeah,
Something
right.
small for the boys. But you know what? This question, I want to ask you, Ademaya, in particular, because you're a student and you'd be coming out soon. How does the issue of unemployment scare you? And how does it impact your vote ahead of the December 7 election?
The issue of unemployment, yeah. Me personally, when I'm 400 right now,
Yeah.
I'm asking myself what is next. Because after you do your service, while you are doing your service, you have a mega salary of what, 715 CDs?
Yeah,
Yes,
that's
it's
around that.
715. It's
Yeah.
715,
715,
yes.
You even
From I think 500 cities.
So it was
You are getting that.
559.
Yes,
Yes,
559.
yes.
Do you get-
People have
You got less?
200
I got
cities.
559.
Yours is okay.
200.
Yes.
No, but you
Okay,
see-
but
but you
those
see,
like from
times,
that time.
compared
Yes,
to the
yes.
compared to the cost of living then and
Yeah,
now.
it makes
Well,
sense.
it
made some
relatively,
bit of
it
sense.
doesn't make
I mean,
sense, honestly.
to be very honest, when I was doing service,
Mm-hmm.
I could afford to slash 100 CDs of a savings.
Wow.
Yeah.
Out of the 559.
Yes, I
You're
could
doing
afford
well.
to slash 100 CDs of a savings towards when I complete. If Ademaya should try that, she's gonna eat for like 2 weeks straight.
She's gonna die.
She's not, I mean, because right now what? Bread.
You're talking about.
Right.
Egg is 5 CDs.
Look, if you want to eat breakfast in this
Kosiane
country, you
Meko.
won't spend anything less than 30 CDs now.
Oh, yeah.
You won't spend anything
Yeah.
less than 30 CDs just for breakfast.
It's
tea
terrible.
and bread
It's
and egg.
Yeah, so I mean,
I mean, to fry egg outside would be 4 CDs for one or
Yes.
3-5.
It's 4
3
CDs.
Look,
What's
it's horrible.
Yes, into me, I'm page and it's saying,
So-
I'm dying.
you're dying.
Yes.
I mean,
You can't eat to your satisfaction.
No,
can
no, no.
you?
I know you eat
have
it
to
stuff.
start
Yes,
fasting.
for the
Stomach
yes,
acid.
you
You have
can't
to
eat.
start fasting for the Lord.
oh, man. I wanted to crack a joke about a positive lining, but I want to reserve that. Starvation doesn't bring any positive lining at all. And I mean, people going hungry is no joke.
Yes, after your 400, you graduate. You are doing NSS for a year, living on a meager salary of 715
Yeah.
CDs. Right now, most of my mates, the thing they are doing is right now as we are here, everyone is trying to do some processing so that by the time you are done, you get visa and leave the country.
Hey,
Japan
Because
movement.
no, like right now,
Wow.
yeah, you think you are with your really close friend, you don't know what's
Yeah.
going through the person's mind. The person
people
wants
they
to
catch
leave.
moves. Then
It's
Right?
like it's traveling. Once you mention traveling, Canada, US, that's when you get to see like a little bit of hope in the person's eyes. Because there's nothing for you here. Like, let's be honest. Right now, it's connection. Oh. If you don't have someone in your family who can link you to somewhere where you work and make money, you just be at home doing nothing. People are trying to do my own business, though, package things and trying to sell. Don't cry and because I started selling sneakers. I would buy it for like 200 CDs, sell it for 250. 2-3 weeks, like right now, the thing I was buying for 200 was like 350. How am I going to sell it? I just stopped doing it.
How?
Because I was doing it to support myself small.
Yeah.
But I'm fat. So
So
I
even
stopped.
business is not working now.
Nothing.
So
nothing
like you
they go.
decided to wear the sneakers yourself.
I stopped. I had a plug in Cantamanto, but I had to stop because
Yeah.
you've told someone last week. You told him that it's
It's
250.
250.
Now you have to come and tell me that
Yeah.
it's 350. Then they are looking at you like but it's
You're
not
a
my
thief.
fault. So I had to stop.
I know it's interesting
Do you
because a
get
lot
it?
of you young ones who are just leaving the university space are starting to do a lot of businesses because
Yes.
it's hard to get a job. And now the business is also not working.
Yes,
so then
'cause
how are you going to survive?
Honestly, we don't know how we are going to survive.
Wow.
But the only thing we can do is to leave the country. Like,
Like, it looks like
Sharp.
you're really in
Yeah,
for leaving
going
the
to
country.
Japan.
She's ready. She's ready. We beg you, stay for us.
We need the men.
We need the men. We want to have more men. So Ademaya, assuming you had started your national service right now, you would be receiving 715 CDs,
Yes.
right, as payment. Break that down for us. How are you going to survive?
let me start with what a typical day like spending looks
Looks
like.
like.
In the morning, let's say I want to have breakfast.
Yeah.
Man spend their 20 CDs, 25
Cocoa.
CDs.
What are you buying with the cocoa?
Let's say,
true.
look, 20,
It's- I mean,
25.
we
Let
drink
me
the
tell
cocoa
you why.
here. You know.
The cocoa in the cup across the street is
10 cities.
Okay.
Yes.
And above.
Why is
Then-
it rubber?
Yeah, I mean, people say, why don't you buy the
Yes.
rubber?
Look
And
at
I'm
the
like,
meat, okay?
yeah.
You see,
Also,
so let me
you know,
say,
we'll come to on that
Oh,
side.
no.
I buy cocoa in a cup. I buy kose. Me, I like food. So let me say, I'll buy kose like 3, 4. That's like 8 CDs.
Oh, that's a
so
normal
10.
thing, actually.
That's how much? 18, right? I've
Yeah.
not bought water.
Wow.
So you let me remove the water. Then it comes to lunch. How much is lunch at the cafeteria? 25, 30. Let's say I'm buying 35. That's how much? 48 CDs
Yeah.
already. And you may my
Uncle
transport
Fie,
and
yeah.
buy.
Like moving in and out.
Unto yeah.
This is a
Imagine I'm a woman,
Unto
right?
Okamu
Imagine
Boye.
my hair is looking
Yeah.
somewhere and I have to go and do something about my hair. So see, I'm washing your saying.
How much does it cost to
at
wash your hair
least you
again?
should
50
50
above.
cities at least.
It's crazy.
I mean, I don't wash
oh.
my hair, so I can't know how
But
No,
much.
but you
much
go
you
to the
cut
barbers.
your hair?
You go to the
No, haircuts
barbers.
are more
Yeah,
expensive.
it's more
isn't it?
expensive as well.
Yes.
I
Yeah, yeah.
think what you do 50 plus, depending on where you go, you could splash 100 CDs to
Yesterday,
try and get
they
a
were
clean
telling
cut.
me that
Exactly.
if
Someone
you
like
go
you,
to a
like
barbering
New
shop and
Central.
they give you drink,
Oh,
run
no,
away.
just run
Yeah,
away.
no,
that's where the
have
place,
to run.
the place where they want to serve you, chairman, make
no,
a
no,
give
no,
you
no,
a
no,
big
no.
coffee. Or,
Hot
they will talk so,
towels and
Charlie,
all of that.
let me pick this call and then you step out quickly. Otherwise,
Exactly.
what's raw.
Oh, wewu.
You understand? So that's like you spend like
Midday, by
50
midday,
CDs.
midday 50 CDs call. Let's say I have to buy dinner. Let's say if I want to buy Indomie, quite chain Indomie, or not chicken man one.
Yeah, yeah.
I'll say like 30 CDs. So that's what 80 CDs. So minus
That's
transportation.
Okay, let's try to remove because maybe you go home and go and eat.
I'm
No,
living in a
she's
hostel.
not
Alone.
coming. Okay.
Me right now, I'm coming from the hostel. I'm not going home because
So it means like
so you not get time to cook because I leave here like 8 p.m. I'll not get time to cook, right? So I have to buy food in the evening too. That's one day minus transportation. That's 80 Ghana cedis. Let's do the
I'm
math.
sorry.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
So there's
We
no
have to
hope.
do it.
and you know once for time.
No, I don't want to. I don't want to.
I know.
I
So you are
don't
not
want
one
to
day,
set
one day.
myself up.
I don't think
One
that
day
man
715. One day
But you
715.
one
is-
day per half.
One day 715.
What am I
is-
buying?
That's half. Oh, I know.
This is not fair. No, no, no.
Anyways,
But you know, as a DB in
No,
Ghana,
no, I'm not a DP. Let's erase that
how
out.
will you spend that amount of
Erroneous
money?
impression.
You tell us. As a Ghanaian DB, how will you spend?
I'm not a DB.
You know, when the Lord has blessed you, you
No,
must
no, no,
accept
no. This
it.
one, I'm setting myself for insults.
But anyways, but honestly, on a more honest note, how will you spend that amount of money?
So I will not tell you how I will spend that money, but my reality check hits on how the economy is faring when I try to buy in Kosiane Meko.
Oh.
So you know egg and pepper. Usually, if you stand there, you can eat like 10.
Yeah.
So me, I buy like 3.
Yes.
I thought one was 2 CDs. I was giving the woman 6 CDs. So I had 5 CDs and then
Yeah.
1
Yeah,
CD
a
coin.
coin.
Yeah.
And she said, "Oh no, madam, it's 9 CDs. Hey,
means one is
Hey,
easy.
listen." And I'll buy water and drink. We're on 3 CDs.
Yeah, if you get
We are very
That's
sorry.
terrible.
We're very sorry. So clearly, the issue of unemployment is very critical when it comes to fresh voters, young voters, and how that will impact their vote. But let's talk about education now. And I'm going to give you a few statistics on that, the numbers. And says that, okay, let's talk about free SHS and we go to the tertiary institutions because we know that the chunk of voters are in the tertiary institutions and those that are also leaving the free SHS system. And so since free SHS in 2017, enrollment into senior high schools have increased from 800,000 to 1.3 million. Over the years, 12.88 billion has been allocated to the policy. Now, we also have issues of accommodation in the tertiary system. And we know that now that the numbers are increasing in the senior high schools, it will mean that
Yes.
more people are being pushed into our tertiary institutions. How are we accommodating them? Every year, the situation is the same. No beds, no rooms, no dormitories,
people
no
paying
hostels.
high
for
amount of money to secure rooms.
people are patching and all that. But even in the free SHS system, we know that there are issues of hidden costs. Because is the free SHS policy really free? That's the first question I'll be
Yes.
asking. Is it really free?
I mean, if we're being honest, it's not. I mean, and you shouldn't get criticized for saying that it's not completely free.
Yeah.
I mean, for all of us who've seen the policy come through and its work, it's fantastic. It's done fantastic in terms of the enrollment numbers. Not wanting to go deep into the details and all
Yeah.
of that, but it's done fantastic over the last few years. But
Right.
the hidden cost is one that nobody can run away from.
Yeah.
You get called. We have friends. I mean, we have colleagues in the office whose kids are they have kids call them from the office. I mean, we have colleagues whose siblings call and complain about. I have a sister who's in final year
Yeah.
now who's getting ready to write WASI. You receive calls every time. We're told that registration has been taken care of, but we were called for us to pay registration, and so fantastic in all of its form, but it has to be looked at again in terms of how it's implemented, so that if we want it to be free and parent, but you see, I always have that dilemma too as well. We can't really say that because it's free. As
Everything should be
parents, we've
free.
washed our hands of
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
everything. So that's why we need to have that sort of arguments for a fair balance. Okay, it's free.
But then, I mean, senior high school was already subsidized. I don't think we were paying exactly how much we were
Yeah.
supposed to pay when for instance, when I
When
was in
you were
senior
in
high
school, yeah.
school.
Yeah.
Because when I went, they gave us checks for free, uniform, chapel cloth. But then you're paying for school fees, you're paying for books. But then again, they probably didn't think it through. It was more of a political agenda.
Yeah.
If they carefully planned it and they thought through the process and then allocated the right
resources.
resources,
Yeah.
it could have been a very, very spectacular. I mean, our presidents, most of them enjoyed free
Back in
education
the
in
day,
Very
Ghana.
true.
Yes.
and all
But
that.
for me, where I personally think the problem really is where they come home for about 3 months.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
green,
And
They have
the
to
green
stay
truck
The tracking
for
goes
about
system.
3
from-
months.
That's
And you know,
because-
that period is where you really spend, because they are just in school for a few months and they
Yes.
can't really finish
have
the
to,
syllabus.
yeah, you
And
have
I have to spend by paying for private classes
Yes,
and
extra
all that. And these
classes
people
and
are
all of
cashing
that.
in. So you're spending for extra classes and then they are paying more, and you're paying more for that just for your children to be able to catch up in school because they are not
And
able
not
to finish the
forget.
syllabus. And so what then is the quality of the education? I think it really should be looked at again.
Yeah.
I
Definitely.
agree.
Yeah, as for that, it brings a lot of course, and I speak out of experience because
Yeah.
I mentioned my
Exactly.
younger sister is
Exactly.
graduating this year. When they come home for the long period, she's straight up. You pay for vacation classes for her to be on and all of that, and so yeah. Otherwise, I mean, the concern is the contact hours. How
Yeah.
long they're able to, because even those of us who went the entire period, some of the teachers were not coming. I mean, these are realities, and everybody has a tale to tell in terms of SHS.
Senior
How
high school.
there was one subject teacher, who didn't come for a period of time, and so we had to do. I recall we were doing
Yeah.
math lessons amongst
During
ourselves.
this,
when we were
it's
going to
usually
write.
the math.
Very true.
Yeah,
teachers.
so
Very
like,
true.
I mean, that becomes extra burden on the parents. But again, it's free SHS, so you can't.
Let
say
me come to you, Adimaya, because you're a student and all the time I'm going to come to you. And let's come to tertiary education, the issues of accommodation and all that. How did you in particular struggle when it came to getting a hostel? You're in UPSC, right?
Yes, I'm in UPSC. So during the semester, when you start writing exams, you get a message that the portal has been opened. When the portal is opened, everyone is trying to log in.
Mad rush.
So yes, it's jammed, and then
reminded me of
I'll
my
say
days.
to myself, "Oh, mommy, I want to
And
wait."
relax
Oh, please.
more.
The next thing you know, everywhere is booked, and I feel like the school hostel is a bit cheaper. For four in a room,
Yeah.
is 2 K.
That's a
So
cheap
that's
one.
okay. Oh no, look, I'm
Right,
I'm coming
that's
to talk
cheap.
like outside of the school hostel.
you pay more.
Yes, because right now, 2 in a room that I'm in is 4K for a semester. Right now, the semester has ended. I had to pay something for rent.
The
'cause
extra
I'm,
one.
Yes, because I'm staying. I'm not in school, but I have to stay there because I'm doing internship, right?
Yeah.
So
That's a lot of
I've
money,
paid
oh.
a lot. I've paid some rent, but then I was supposed to reopen in October, but now I've been told it's been fast tracked. So now we are going to open in September. I have to find 4K again. Or else there's no one I'm going to stay. No, right now, if you explain your situation to someone, no one is
Nobody's
listening. Because
listening.
everyone is hot.
Yeah.
Everyone
So
for
you can't go and say,
themselves.
"Oh, please." As soon as you get someone who has 4K ready,
You evict
you'd
you and
you'd get
then-
evicted, and then like the person with the ready cash will take your place. You get it. So it's
Yeah.
right now. Like I'm thinking about it because I have to get the
Yeah,
4K.
thank you for your parents.
Honestly, we have to get it before like 2nd or 3rd week in
Yeah.
August, or else I'll be hot. Do you get it? The issue of accommodation in the tertiary is horrible. Like, if you take Legon, for example, there's a hostel. I'm sure a lot of us have heard about it. Pent.
Pentagon.
Well,
They
Pent,
pay
yeah.
ridiculous amounts of money for,
therefore-
and there's nothing special about the
Yeah.
hostel.
You want to
Nothing.
We want to rant about spend.
Special
even
about the
go to
hostel.
Pento.
But it's so expensive. And I had a friend who had to come and perch in my hostel because someone lied to her and told her that, oh, I'll do connection for you. The girl was stranded because she had reopened. And then the guy who promised to do the thing for her did nothing about it.
Yeah.
So she was going up and down. She had no...
Spend your money.
It's actually
and
become a
there's nothing.
lucrative
Very
place for
lucrative
Yes,
business.
that's how
Scams
come
to-
the
yeah,
yeah.
portals
Scams
are
to thrive.
usually full too,
Yes.
because by the time you are ready to go and book it, someone has booked about 3 rooms, and then he would sell it to you at exorbitant prices.
They'll tell
Like,
you that
true.
it
times
is
3
jammed
of
though.
the prices.
But
Yeah,
if
yeah.
you fair trade, they'll tell you
They'll
that I
give
have
you
a room
some.
for
There's
you.
always a
But then
room.
there's
There's
nothing on the
always a
There's
room.
always a
It's
room.
become an avenue
That,
for people
as
Yes.
someone
It's
who has been a
frustrating.
student politician before, I know there's always a room.
There's always
because
room.
I handled the hall before, and look, it's so interesting. So, Ademaya, you've been talking about rent and accommodation for UPSA. So that brings us to our next topic, and we are going to put rent and data together. Basically, from my statistics, the average cost of rent for a 1-bedroom apartment should be around 2,500 cedis.
That's somebody's salary, man.
And you know, if you remember, there's this policy called the National Rental Assistance Scheme, and it was brought about by this government. It says if you're working for the government,
Non-existent. I've not seen it. You know, honest.
You don't know the
yeah.
people.
So if you're working for the government, of course, you can take a loan for a year. They will deduct it from your salary as time goes on, but you have to be working for the government, and then they'd pay for
So
your
what
Are
rent.
there
about
jobs
people-
available in the
what about
government?
people
In the
who-
first place, that's a really good
Hey.
question.
That's
a really good question.
We're behaving as if you brought a policy.
Yeah, because you see, the subject of rent is it's crazy.
yeah.
2 years advance, young people complain every time.
Every time.
You've done a
I
whole
did, yeah.
assignment, like a 30-minute.
Across skyrocketing rental
Yeah,
market.
kaidi in solid.
Yep.
Nothing's changed.
Nothing at all.
And for me, here's why I become a bit harsh. The fact that we introduce this rent assistance scheme means we've failed horribly.
Horribly.
Because there are laws that exist. We're not
Exactly.
able to enforce the laws. So, Charlie, we'll give you money so that you pay for your rent. And we, like, the people who can even access these are not the average Joes who really need it.
Yes.
Now, what's the point?
Yes.
And
Look
just
at
to
the
bring you
average
clarity, the rent laws say that landlords are supposed to take rent for up to 6
6
months.
months.
But we always pay in 2 years.
You want someone to
Why
Always.
can't government implement these laws, but rather they are introducing policies to pay the rent
Then maybe we
for
should
that
remove the
2
thing and
years?
we
It,
should
it
do
just
it
doesn't
2
make
years.
sense.
That's why
But
I
if-
say some of the laws or the policies are not realistic.
At
Because
all.
why are you paying people's rent when the law is not working in the first place?
Why aren't we implementing
no
the
sense.
laws? But honestly, we've been talking about implementation of the laws and all that. But look at the cost of rent. It's unbearable for the average Ghanaian youth. How much are we receiving as salary, and then we have to pay rent worth that amount?
Advance.
2 years. I mean, look.
Some of the rooms or wherever you're going to rent is not even up to standard with
Oh,
the amount
oh,
that
not
you
at all.
mentioned.
Yes.
Bro.
And
So
the
you
agents.
Bro.
The 10%
The ten-
agent fee.
The
Look.
fees.
You people are even like 10%.
We're talking
even-
about another thing.
people elsewhere are living lives that people are hitting 30s and others are not able to live. Somebody is 22 is getting married. Killers cannot even afford to pay rent. Talk less, try to get married. You understand? Because at 22, you can afford like some good. Like you see, when you're on me, I always say like I'm on Twitter half the time. I don't still know how to call it X. You see people taking a picture of like some keys and all that.
Yeah.
This is how I started.
Yeah.
You can't do
I mean,
that here.
I highlight that is the people that are in the foreign countries.
Yes,
you
yes.
can't do that
Ghanaians.
here because nobody crowunyai.
Hand
Oh,
to mouth.
how?
It's hand to mouth.
Like,
Yeah, we are living from hand to mouth.
Yes.
oh.
These are,
We
these
are
are
really living
like,
from hand to
every
mouth.
day.
These are the
It's-
realities that sometimes when they come to us that we should vote for them, they don't seem to understand. Look, people are suffering forget
Really?
all the sweet vibes.
You
and
can't even
we're
save
able
money.
to crack
The money you are
jokes and
saving
all
will
that.
end up saving you one time. It's not to me. Like you are saving money, but
like,
Charlene,
facts.
no.
Are you saving money or the money is
Hey.
saving you? That's the question for today.
Horrible.
Like you see people clocking 30
Yeah.
and then someone is 22, has a child already.
Yeah.
You know, you can't even pay 1
I mean,
year
the
advance.
30-year-old, they don't even want to leave their parents' house because if you
Charlie,
leave,
These are
how
like
will you survive?
these are the
You use
these
Gary,
are the
you lick it.
realities that these are the realities. And like when you sit down, you think about it, and sometimes the conversations that's going on, and somebody's talking some big policy, something. Charlie, then you're asking yourself, like, do they know?
you see why
Yeah,
I
they
said the
don't
policies are
understand.
not
Do they-
realistic.
You know,
like,
you
do they
know the
know
Ghanaian
how
issues.
we go about pick trotro, like vibe with the people. Like people are suffering, and it's
the
not
thing
just a
is-
crowd.
The thing is, the government doesn't understand that majority of the youth in Ghana right now are depressed.
Very
because
much.
imagine you're seeing, okay, you're on TikTok, you're seeing the 22 thing you're talking about. Someone in America
Bagging
has
some
bought
wild
a car.
Barbie
You are in your
somewhere, getting
30s.
married.
You are
Bro,
in your 30s and you're still in your mother's
Your
house.
mother's house.
Depression. Like you're a man or you're 30 and you're still living in your mother's house. Meanwhile, you've seen some 22-year-old boy on
With a
social
Tesla.
Yes.
Oh,
and
so
you're
I've
asking
said
this-
yourself why.
I've said this and
The
I always
Tes-
say
the
it,
Tesla
that
stuff is
Ghanaian issues
Tesla,
are bread and
they
butter
say, wow.
issues. Ghanaian issues are
Corona,
bread and
Kwame
butter
kra
issues.
upia bi enye yi nana. Upia Kwame kra enye yi. Tesla dey say wako.
No, we're comparing it to the foreigners.
Yeah, I
the,
know,
the
like
black
you know,
Americans.
Yeah,
Tesla dey say has a dream car bi sa no. Nana upia Corolla Kwame kra enye yi o.
The system
Ridiculous,
is
bro.
broken.
Marina,
The
Marina,
system is
forget
broken.
Broken.
Okay, so let's talk about data. Now, the NCA says in its latest report that Ghana is what? We are the third ranked in Africa as a country with the cheapest cost pricing for mobile internet and the second in West Africa.
I think they should stop doing this thing.
You know, they calculated
Relax.
the amount with dollars. So it makes it look like we are better off. But considering the dollar is going up and the Ghana cedis is going down, or say standing, it's more
standing.
expensive compared
Yeah.
to Togo, Nigeria. I think Nigeria.
You know what? I almost choked on my food the first time I heard this because I was
Right?
like, are you kidding me?
Nigeria.
That we
Look,
have
I've
better data
had
offers than
horrible data service. Look, I don't even want to mention names, but I've had horrible data service
It
for how
gets
many
worse
months?
and worse.
I can't even go on social media and the thing will appear. Well, look right now, look
You
right
have
now
to
it's
put it
off.
on flight mode and
Right
go
now,
and
but yeah, I always have to put on
We
flight
know,
mode.
like
just
pilot
me.
school.
On and
We
off,
did
on and
pilot
off.
school.
Yeah,
we are
on
on land, but
It's
flight
off.
mode every
Look,
now
it's
and
off
then.
right now.
Yeah, I mean it's
Meanwhile, I
visible.
have data.
Oh my
I have
goodness.
to put off the put it on flight mode, put it off, put it on.
I thought it was
Aviation
just me.
school.
before it to come back. How
Some
is this
people like
possible?
this, huh?
And
Oh
we are
my
paying.
goodness.
Adimaya, you're a student.
As for you, yeah, they will give you some before you eat. So
Or you
imagine
get
how
every
you are
student's
affording.
Wi-Fi.
No, oh no.
But you
If you're in the school hostel, that's the thing. And you know, because if you're in the school hostel, sometimes the Wi-Fi works. But then where you have to go and stand to get it, especially if you are just then you're like, you have an eye, right? You need data. You bought this data. You can't even afford it. So let's say you're going to use the school's
Student's
Wi-Fi,
Wi-Fi.
where you go and stand. But when,
And it disconnects after some time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
say,
but-
and you are
Oh,
there,
that-
like it's
University
horrible
of
being in
Ghana.
school. There are so many people, especially when the place
please
is
give us
crowded.
Yeah.
It's difficult to get connection because everyone is trying
when
to
the
log
numbers are high, yeah, that's mean.
data as a student. Judith,
I'm
For
sorry.
people
I'm
working
sorry,
South,
baby
they
girl.
are crying. People
they
working
are
South are
working. No,
crying.
not me that I'm
The
not
youth that you're
working.
students.
Where's the money? The money is not reaching for anything. You should go and buy what they give.
Cost of living.
For people working, they are complaining
And
about
the way the
cost
data
of
is supposed to be
It's
That's what
limited
TV
with
is saving
an
you.
expiry.
TV3
but
saving with
it's
the Wi-Fi use.
honestly, TV3
At
is
least when you
saving
can
us.
go,
us.
you
True,
saw
yeah.
a few
Connect.
things.
I even not scared.
You saw out a few things and then you check it out. But look, they are weaponizing poverty. Like so, right now you have to use when you go on this and say, "Oh, data plug." this thing for
Right.
this amount, this that for that amount, this that
Yeah,
for that
spoiling
amount,
someone's
this that
business.
that for, no, I'm not spoiling it. There are people who are doing scams.
They will come
Yeah,
after
it's a
them.
scam.
They will
It's a
you
come after
send
them.
you send the momo and then the person will scam you. Like so at every
Poverty.
turn, because of like misgovernance, bad governance, call it what, we are being punished on top of it by our fellow countrymen.
Yeah, we want a shortcut.
And then
Yeah, we are all looking
The
for
pressure
shortcuts.
is
Yes.
getting
West side.
So thank you guys for joining me. You heard for yourselves. We hit the streets though, and we asked people what factors will influence their votes ahead of December 7 elections. And this is what they had to say.
Because I'm a youth, so I'm much concerned about the unemployment rate in Ghana. So I'm like, okay, why don't I come and listen to see the measures that will be put in place to tackle the unemployment? That's why I'm here to listen. I'm born into an MPP family, so definitely.
The bottom line for me or the youth is simple: job creation. Because as a tertiary student, there's hope that after you finish school, there's a job waiting for you, that you can also start your life as a youth going in the country and then make it to the top. But then we see a statistical increase of graduates that are unemployed every year, and it's so appalling.
why are you supporting the NPP?
Because I want the MPP party to continue with the free secondary school. Currently, I was an NDC member, so I switched to MPP because I want my siblings to enjoy free SHS. That's why. So I don't want the MPP Ghana to go. The MPP to go on opposition. I want them to come so that more years to come, you will still enjoy the free secondary school. Thank you.
What I have realized in this country is the unemployment rate. And the NDC has the 24-hour economy policy, of which I think if John Dramani Mahama in this 2024 election, if he wins and then he comes to power, through this 24-hour economy, he's going to employ majority of the youth, even if not all the youth, at least the highest percentage of the youth will be employed under this 24-hour economy.
Nana, though, as our president, he has done much for us. That is why I'm supporting MPP.
He's done a lot for you. That's why you support.
Yeah. He has done a lot for us. That is why we are supporting MPP.
Okay, so for you as a young person, today they are launching the manifesto. What do you want to hear as a young person which will give you more vim to go and vote for Dr. Bawumia?
I want to hear a lot. I want to hear a lot from.
What specifically?
Promoting our, let me say, our work, giving us a lot of works to do. Or let me say, that is why. That's all. I want us to get work to do. That is why.
I was part of the first batch of USHS, but trust me, in school, the quality of food we even ate because of free SHS was bad. And you ask the teachers and the other people and they tell you it's because of free SHS. What the government bring is what you get. So in terms of that side of it, I'm not just happy about it, and I feel the NDC can do better.
What about the quality of education with regards to the free SHS? We know that there was the double track system, and then that was abolished. Now they go to school, and most of the time they are home for quite a longer period of time. Did that affect you in any way?
The only question I would ask though, and I just expect maybe Bawumia to one day answer me is that even here I go school 3 years, who's no mom 1.5 years. That's just it.
But they're in school for 3 years, not 1.5.
No, they go to school for 3 months, come and sit home for 3 months. When you do the calculation, it's 1.5 years. You stay in the house for 1.5 years. You go to school for 1.5 years. Yeah, you call 3 years. So, na mini aketwa no call 1.5.
Well, you heard them for yourselves. Interesting views from a section of the public as to what factors will influence the vote come December 7. So yes, I've been in the studio with Enyonam, Mawena, and Demaya, and we've been discussing a lot of factors that will influence our votes come December 7. We've talked about unemployment, we've talked about education, data services, and the cost of rent.
Yeah.
And so my last question to you all would be, will you really vote come December 7? Enyonam.
Yes, I would vote. I mean, it's my rights, civil rights. I will vote, but the person is in my head.
You did hear.
Yes.
Marina, as for you, dear.
Most definitely, I will vote. I mean, that's without a doubt. I will vote. But I mean, we have to look out for some of the tangibles. We want to see tangibles which can
Policies.
which can inform our decision to vote as young people. So I will vote, come what may. I need to let my voice be heard. So that's never crosses my mind that I shouldn't vote.
Yeah, great. Adimaya.
Hi.
Hey, you look really jittery with that question.
I will vote. I don't have a
Are you
choice.
sure?
I can't just
Are we
sit back.
putting you under pressure?
No.
Because we've said we vote, so we should vote.
Because she initially said she won't to.
Oh, don't do that.
If I had the choice,
Yeah.
but at the same time, I can't just sit back and let,
Yeah, that's that saying about fools who elect a leader
Who was
for you or
elected
something.
I can't just sit
Yeah.
back and then not be concerned about what's going on in the country. I mean, I want my voice to be heard, like you said, but as to whether that is going to make a difference, time will tell. Definitely.
Time will indeed tell. But this is a clarion call to all of you to come out in your numbers and vote come December 7. Your vote is your choice. You need to choose the leader that you want to lead you. And so come out in your numbers and vote on December 7. And be sure to like, enjoy, interact, comment, and watch future episodes of Fresh Voters right here on TV3 and on social media platforms as well. I have been in the studios with Mawina Ebeta.
Yours truly, we'll vote, let my voice be
Yes,
heard.
I've also been here with the beautiful Enyonam
Hello.
and Adimaya.
Hello.
Yes, my name is Judith Brown. Thanks for watching and stay tuned for more episodes. Peace.